All right, let's get this rolling. Woo! You can all see my lovely face. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to Live Feedback Friday. So, first things we have actually, Near Far sent me a song on the feedback channel or posted one, and I was saving to do this one. I haven't heard it yet. It's Cotton Candy. So, we'll start off with that one.
Yeah, I'm eating cotton candy, cruising in the V with my daddy. Spank, spank, kill, kill. Oh,
Right off the bat, and I'm just going to say this is just a personal taste. I just don't like the vocals.
been a bad girl. Okay, wow. But it's
Like,
been a good
I feel
day,
like
even though.
I feel like the melody. I think the music's really good. The instrumental so far. I just and I always like to kind of point stuff out. This is actually his regular artwork, but I always loved it. But for me personally, I will say the vocals I don't feel like match the music. I feel like those vocals are very high pitched and bubbly, versus where the music's more dramatic and almost darker sounding. So I feel like more could be added to that, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Feels like
And if you guys want to give
hell.
feedback as well in the comments, you definitely can.
Now I want to play, like always. I love it when you play with my hair. I'll never stop, never stop. I'll never stop, never stop. Loving you. I'll never stop, never stop.
I like all sorts of music, as long as it's not. I like all sorts of music except for three things: country, which is kind of a given, although it's kind of rubbed onto me because of my old job, and I don't like mumble rap. Never send me mumble rap. Or industrial. That's kind of the three that I go for. If it's too experimental, it's not for me. But other than that, I like everything else in between.
Yeah. Nope. Oh, you think you're tough. You're such a bluff with some chains. I need.
Kind of scrolling through the song a little bit. Okay. I'm liking it. I feel like there could be some more space that could be added to the song, some meat, especially around here. Like, I feel like the melody, it just goes nowhere. It's a melody, and it's like, I wouldn't say barren. It just doesn't have a whole lot of meat to it, which I feel like it could have. Maybe like having a pad in the background, very, very soft, or having some atmosphere could add to it. The vocals, I just feel like personally are not my type of thing. I don't really like that kind of stuff. It's weirdly pitched. The echo off of the saying is like never stop, and it's just never stop. It's weird because it's almost like a distorted vocal chop versus a dry one, and then it goes into a dry one, and it almost like sounds like a delay, but it's not a delay, and it just sounds very off with the rest of the music. I just feel like the vocals don't match the overall tone of the track, except at the drop, which it does. But other than that, I mean, it's not bad. Compositionally, it's well done. It just needs some more meat to it so it can have more fullness. Like, I feel like more of those high ends and some of the mid ranges could definitely be filled more in this song. So that's very interesting, and I was very curious because I know the singer just sent him vocals and he's just worked around it. So let's scroll down a little bit because this is Extreme's track, which I said I was going to get to. So okay, I'm getting some like Deadmau5 bass vibes right there. I would like that bass to be brought up more. I like to hear more of it. Oh. So I kind of mentioned this before on my previous stream, discussing to somebody about transitions, right there, I think that transition needs more work. It's just abrupt. It doesn't smooth out, which is super important in any track because the one thing that can pull a listener out is very rough transitions. So, one thing I will say, Extreme, if you are watching this, which I also post an archive of this, by the way, at the end of each stream, I will post a link to it in the feedback channel, but you can watch all these live streams on the channel, so you can come back. So don't need to worry about writing all down these notes. Don't worry. This is posted afterwards. So, but I was going to say with Extreme's track here, so if you listen, so it goes with the kick, it kind of just fades out. But I feel like what should happen is there should be a rise right before it, like have that, and then that almost that synth going like a horn almost, or like almost like a foghorn sound, and that's the best way I could describe it. And just have it go down, but really get loud over the kick so it overlaps, and that's a way you can make that transition more smooth. But again, that's just something I know this is a work in progress, so I think that's just something that could be worked. I like this. The intro, I was a little. Kai was like, "Oh, are we getting into experimental territory here?" And I was like, "Oh no, we're not." It's kind of cool because it's like a mix of like techno and trance, and I like it. Whoops. We're just gonna. As I accidentally click away. Oh no. Oh no. This happens all the time, unfortunately. So, there we go. That was right here. So kind of same thing with transitions. It just seems that overall transitions could be worked on and improved. And I think that with the bass line, I feel like more meat could be put involved with it, and the kick could punch through a lot more at some parts. Overall, though, it's a good track. It's more of a techno vibe, which I can dig. It's really nice. So let's go ahead, and I know next I said was Paradox with City Streets, and I was very curious about this because, again, I don't know. I haven't listened to any of these songs that was sent to me on Submit Hub nor on the feedback channel because I like to keep them. I'm just going to point out something, and I'm really sorry for this. But that melody right there, that piano, that dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, if anybody else could figure out the rest of that, I would be very happy. But if anybody knows from the Simpsons movie, Spider Pig, do whatever Spider Pig does, that's what it sounds like, and it's really funny. Like dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Just a nerd in me. I mean, it's really dope. I love that piano. But I'm just saying it sounds like that. Oh, okay. So I've already kind of spotted two things. One, I think that's a flanger or a phaser on top of your vocals there. Be careful a little bit because the thing about phasers and flangers, they can really stand out. And I know it can give a really cool kind of like spacey effect. I would try doing that with a passive delay or a reverb versus a phaser or a flanger flanger. It's gonna be. It just sounds a little distorted. But I'm liking the vibe. So the next thing I kind of noticed there, that piano in the beginning is really, really quiet. I would definitely make that louder in future music. Like that piano, I think sounds really cool. I actually did a track with somebody recently, and I was playing piano, but the piano was prominent sounding in the mix while also complementing all the other instruments and anything else I was playing. So it's always important, especially when you mix, that you can hear all the sounds without any of them taking over each other. So let's come back up here. So that So that piano, I love that because it's jazzy, and anyone knows me, I absolutely love jazz. That's a genre of music I love. So that's really cool, but again, just make it a little louder. So you can kind of hear it, and especially when she inhales, it's like that kind of flanger phase sound. And I'm not saying it's distracting or anything. It's definitely a creative thing, and I will tell you guys, anything that is technical, I'm gonna give straight feedback on. If it's something that is just a personal taste, I will let you know. And this is more of a personal taste matter. So I think that it has a very flanger and phaser sound, which I think distorts the vocal a little bit and can sometimes confuse listeners. So some ways you can get around that is maybe sometimes reverb can even cause it. Less reverb sometimes or less delay. It just really just depends. So another thing too, I would have liked your drums to punch through more. It sounds like the vocals are prominent, and you definitely got your low end, which is very, very good. It's definitely meaty. You got the overall atmosphere and vibe, but your piano, those Rhodes a little bit, I know they're very on the low side. Try and make a pocket for them in the hertz range when you're mixing it, so it sounds clean and you can hear everything. And another thing is the drums. Have your kick through more. I think that would have been really cool, because I'm getting like if has anyone heard the song Down? Like that's kind of vibe I'm getting, and I'm loving it because when that song was first getting played on the radio, I was like, yo, this is the coolest track ever. It was like a chill, and it was so simple. It was such a simple track, but oh my gosh, the production, the vocals are amazing, and this is what I'm getting. It's a very simple track. To be honest, this is a very simple sounding track, but it's a good simple sounding track. And as one of my greatest mentors in my life ever said was simplicity equals complexity, because without complexity, you can't have simplicity. So simplicity meaning that even though it's simple, it still can get complicated sounding, especially when you start mixing it. So the less that's going on, the more your mix has to mash together well. Things need to stand out more because people will notice subtle sounds. So I think that's cool too. That almost sounds like a scratch effect. That and also I play drums, so I love picking up those things, and I think it's really cool. Again, make the drums more prominent, especially with the kick, because that would be so cool. I don't know if anybody else can hear that. Can anybody hear the music in the background? Sorry, I was just checking my levels. My neighbors decided to kick on a big ass stereo outside and blast music, and I'm hearing it straight through these headphones. Which, by the way, these are Audio Technica M50Xs, and they're noise resistant, so they're not completely soundproof because when I'm listening, but they're really good for studio involvement. So I apologize if I get distracted a little here. Again, just the drums. It's so good though. I'm actually really liking this track. See, I hear your bass. I hear your hi-hats. I hear the Renter's obnoxious bass, and I also hear the snare. I don't hear that kick. It's muddled out, and it's a shame because oh my gosh, that would make this even 10 times better if you had that kick really punch through. If I actually could make some suggestion plugins, if you want to check them out for making your kick punch through, if you have the money, Punish is a really really good plugin. So Punish is good. If you have Pro Tools, Maxim is great on the when you're actually into the mastering process. But if you are going to use stuff, I would definitely try and compress it, and I would sidechain your kick and your bass, as it doesn't sound like it's sidechained fully. Then bring some of those levels up, and once it's in the mastering process, you got a master engineer working on this. They will be able to make that thing really boom, and it's going to sound really good. But wow, if you wrote all this, props, man. This is good. Like, I could hear this on the radio. Okay, so that right there, the kick, it's punching through. And that is awesome. Yeah. Okay, I believe it gets better. That's awesome. So the kick is punching through right there. You can clearly hear it. It's a little muddied, just a little bit. As you don't get that low end, that thump with it. So I would definitely highly recommend. I'm so sorry for laughing. Just whenever I hear that piano, it's just dude. I paused to talk because I want to make sure people can hear the feedback also. So I will say, cool idea with the roads. Someone who loves the roads, which is me. I could say I think it's a little off-putting. It's kind of abrupt, especially since it's got more of a honky-tonk roads, and this is more of like a chill hop, more bluesy sounding track almost, or smooth jazz. So a honky tonk, which is I picture more bluegrass kind of music, big swing and stuff like that. I think that it's kind of weird because the Rhodes, because it's got that, it's more again more of a phased Rose, but it's got more of that honky tonk sound, which is not bad. It's great, but I think maybe if you went more with just a regular Rhodes, like a Bell Rose or something, I think that could have fitted a little better. But then that's personal preference. I would be careful a little bit. As your piano and your Rhodes there are kind of fighting for stuff, and don't be afraid to bring up your drums a little bit. Again. Is that you freestyling, by the way, on Rhodes? Because I love it. Artistic choice. I just think the delay sounds a little weird at the end. I think the entire track sounds really good until the Rhodes part. Then that honky tonk kind of Rhodes, I feel like doesn't necessarily fit the track entirely. I think maybe more of a Bell Rhodes would have been a better choice. But again, that's personal preference. That delay though at the end sounds a little weird, and it's almost like an abrupt ending, and it's almost like, oh, I need to think of something to put there. Swear one of these days I'm gonna end up on the news for having really loud renters because I decided to light a house on fire. Just kidding. All jokes aside, but no, last week I couldn't do a live stream because of a few factors. One, we had really loud renters that would not. It was just college students, and they come and find out they actually got kicked out. So, but yeah, it's a fun time. Let's move on to the next track. So Trippy J sent me a song here. Haven't listened. Okay, so it looks like Trippy J, you're a rapper. I'm just assuming. So if you're listening right now, Trippy J, hello. Lovebirds. I just want to say, because I always like to look at the artwork too, and I apologize, I didn't comment on your artwork. I'm so sorry, Paradox. I was too into your piano in the beginning. I absolutely love the artwork. I like the artwork here too. For rap music though, I think it's a little off-putting. I think if this is hip hop or rap, so we're gonna listen, but I'll give my rest opinion on the artwork in a minute. That intro is really nice. The producer, who is Yusei, is really good. Take out my card, I'll pay for dinner, I'll swallow my pride. Okay. This happens a lot, and you're not the only person that does this sometimes. Make sure your levels, and I don't know if you had an engineer for this. Oh no, you don't, Ali, you don't. No, I'm gonna look at the feedback channel. I posted a thing earlier, asked people if they want to send it on Submit Hub, they can. I posted all over the place, but I usually mainly look at Discord, and each week Discord is the first place I always look at. People who want Discord always gets first dibs, so that's always important to know. That being said, and don't worry, I'll be doing yours in just after the song, Ali. That being said, though, so this is hip hop and rap. Cover art, little weird. I have mixed feelings because when I look at it, I get ambient, chill kind of vibe. Which, don't get me wrong, song's chill, but I'm getting more of an ambient vibe. I'm thinking I'm at the ocean. There's some ocean waves. There's maybe some seagulls, whatnot. I'm not picturing rap or hip hop, which, and I am going to point out, if you are going to try and market to ambient, you're really barking up the wrong crowd. I get so many repost requests, Submit Hub requests for people to go, oh yeah, I write ambient, or oh yeah, I write electronic, and it's just straight hip hop and rap. And I go, Google what electronic is and Google what ambient is, because fun facts about ambient typically doesn't have any drums or lyrics. Ambient is primarily, can be described as, like, okay, literally the ocean is ambient. That is considered ambient music. It's usually, and ambient actually wasn't a genre of music at first. It was actually referred to as a specification in the audio industry when it comes to a type of sound, specifically in film and TV. So when you ever hear those background noises or background sounds in a video game or in a film or TV show, that's considered ambient, like the suspense, like, or like long drones and stuff. That's why ambient tracks are usually long. But yeah, I think the artwork could have been a little different. I don't really picture hip hop on this. It's cool, but again, it's just a personal take. Lovebirds, we blue jays on the street. It was sinners, I'll allow it this time. But your vocals need to be up more in the mix. So the last track, the vocals was a lot in the mix. And the music was kind of pushed back a little bit. This one, the vocals could be more up in the mix. Huddled in mucky weather, love to be hugging with fluffy feathers. But the inches that we lost was another measure. Something yo, see, we're lovebirds, but our wings seem to be stuck together. Huddled in mucky weather, love to be hugging with fluffy feathers. But the inches that we lost. Okay, so I'm not gonna try and rap here. So right there, I think that's yours. Huddled in mucky weather, love to be hugging with fluffy feathers. But the inches that we lost was another measure. So when you kind of try to hit that high note, it sounded like your voice cracked a little. That's completely normal if you don't have a high-pitched voice. For example, I can't sing high. Even though on the microphone I have a higher sounding voice, I actually have a very deep voice in real life, and I sing bass. Hi, Trippy J. Welcome, man. Hey, I was just talking about your track. Hey, real quick about your artwork. You can always rewind a little bit, by the way. And I will be posting this afterwards if you want to take a look. But, yeah, so I think with your vocals, careful with your high notes, because your voice sounded like it cracked a little bit. And again, it's nothing bad. It's just when you are hitting those high notes, either try and get some vocal training for it, or maybe try and stick to the same levels as to the rest of your rap because it sounds good. But as soon as I heard that, it took me right out of the track. And that's why I paused and backed up and like, what was that? And it almost sounded like your voice cracked.
I'd love to be hugging with fluffy feathers, but the inches that we lost was
right there.
Measure, something we cannot forget. So I think we can judge whatever. We can talk about crystals or what we think about life. We can spend our life together till we're both just out of time. You may be stuck in the box. I think I broke out of mine.
Thanks.
All you gotta do is spread your wings and then allow your flight. They say it's worth its weight in gold. I'll give you an ounce of mine.
We need more rap music like this. I'm just saying, I'm pausing real quick because I just want to say one really good thing I love about this is like 90s, early 2000 hip hop and rap. And no worries. It just maybe like have like just on the next songs like work on it. But I will say I absolutely love this because again, it got that that 90s, early 2000s hip hop vibe, which I love. Because one of my biggest things is with a lot of modern hip hop and rap, and I hate it, is that it's either about killing people, drugs, sex, and bitches, excuse my French, as they all say, and more drugs, lean, and then just, I don't know what the hell they say in mumble rap. I don't even bother. Because half the time it's gibberish and sounds like garbage anyways, and I'm like, ugh. So that's why this right here I can vibe with. This is a hip-hop track I would be bumping in my car and chilling with my friends with, and this is honestly a great song. Great vocals too. Good lyrics. Did you write all of them? You know, you should look up Wax Taylor. I forget the rapper he worked with, but there was a track they did, and oh my gosh, it had a lot of political values to it, but I'm loving this.
Take out my card, now pay for dinner. I swallow my pride.
Thank you. Well, you have a really good knack for writing lyrics.
Eagle eyes pigeon for your heart. I'm not gonna stop it this time.
I do have to laugh because this is the kind of beat I write. I love it.
Yo, see what love birds, but our wings shattered and broke apart. Deep scan if I focus hard, we can't see a broken heart. Deep within my chest, I had a knife and plenty open scars. At first,
yeah, Wax Taylor. Wax Taylor, that's exactly how you spell it. I might be able to show you it towards the end here. Your vocals, they're dipping out. Careful. I don't know if you had a mix engineer for this or not, or if you did the mixing yourself. Your vocals, make sure to bring it up in the mix. And if I'm just saying, if you're not using a DAW, just record this on your phone because let's be honest, we all were there at some point. I started on a free online DAW, so I definitely can't judge people. But what you can do is get a free program like Audacity or something. Just slap both of these in there and bring your volume up in Audacity and then just clean it up. And it's going to make it sound so much better. But your vocals, it just kind of dips down in the mix a little bit. And it really needs to bring up because I would love to hear your vocals more. But then I'm like, I'm focusing in. And the music sometimes, the kick or the snare is overtaking what you're saying. I'm not going to be very harsh because it's well mixed. But it's just the vocals need to be brought up.
Some of us have inner wars and never check our battles first. So make sure that you love yourself before you go get mad at her. The way I fix myself with self-love and some meditation. I learned that insecurities were actually selfish hatred. Emotions are just a reflection of your inner self. So make sure that your heart's
And if people want to know why I keep looking down, I'm reading the chat below me.
I'm working on myself with some pretty new equipment. I know that y'all are waiting and asking, dude, can you just finish? But I'm erasing self.
Free Loops. I have many comments about Free Loops, which I'm not going to say, but I have strong opinions about it. I was a Free Loops user for years. Actually, funny enough, this is a Sennheiser mic, but I actually have a Focusrite Scarlett next to me. So I'm going to like this track because it's so good. Yes. Well, I will on my free time be listening. I don't know who that person is. Awesome. And we just got yet another person who was going to send me music. But before we get to you, Phantom, I'm a record label owner. I am a freelance composer. I have done mastering. Actually, I was just mastering a track for somebody else. I'm not going to say names. But you guys will probably be seeing it soon. I use Logic Pro X too. I also use Pro Tools. I just bought my monthly subscription. But yeah, I've done it all, really. I've done sound design. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. But you can find more of my stuff, freelance stuff, at devlinsound.com. That's DEVLIN sound.com. That's my website. But yes, I'm also an artist too. I write music, but mostly I'm writing music for other people. So that's what I do. So, Melody Man. So, Allie, you produced this. Okay, I'm actually gonna open this up. I'm trying to read that artwork. It's gonna be. There we go. Yep, open it. Let's see. That's one of my artist's new songs. Interesting artwork. Interesting artwork. Thank you, Trippy J. I'm gonna hopefully be doing these live streams every Friday, or attempt to. I'm currently finishing up my master's right now in school, so time is a little constraining as my schedules keep flip-flopping throughout the months. All right, I want to start us over real quick. Thank you. I mean, I'm happy to take donations too if you want to send them. I'm just kidding. But no. Hey, we. Should have been riding. Oh. I'm in too deep. Should never. Hit me with that auto tune right away. I'm sorry. I have very strong. I actually learned how to properly do auto tune while in school, and let me tell you, auto tune is. It's not as much the sound what people think. It's more whenever I hear autotune, I think of the engineers and what they had to go through, because making autotune sound good is such a tedious and rigorous process. I'm not even joking. This guy had a lyrics autotune for 15 seconds. It took me 4 hours to fix it because every single millisecond the autotune was off. So you have to zoom in on Melodyne, look at it and go, okay, this needs to get fixed, and then the whole song, it's like, oh. And then you had that 15 seconds, and now times that by 10, because there was 10 parts in the song with the autotune, and each one 15 seconds, and each one took 4 hours to do. It was a nasty project. Yeah, the effect is cool, don't get me wrong. Once it's done, it's awesome. Like, I like autotune in hip-hop especially. I actually don't mind it. Some people don't like it. I don't mind it. Yeah, but like, when you... Bless to all the engineers who have to deal with autotune. Just saying. Yeah. Killing in silence. Melody man. Could have been falling. Yeah. Let him go driving. Wasted feeling. Who's rapping on this? I just want to know. Oh, Trippy. This was actually a test. This was for school. They did this on purpose to make sure we know what the hell we're doing. Trust me. I went to Full Sail. That's the shirt. And it's a really tough school. Allie, so who rapped on this? I just want to make sure so I know what I should be giving feedback on, because there's 2 things I want to give feedback on. One's more of a personal taste. The beat and the melody and stuff is freaking dope. Awesome beat. Oh, you're rapping on it. Okay. I'm going to be very nice. So as you just kind of personally heard me say, I'm not a big fan of mumble rap. I fall this underneath mumble rap when it's just rap that just literally makes no sense, doesn't tell a story, isn't anything like that. Artist, engineer, and producer. Hey, that's really good because very well engineered, I will say. Okay. Well, I was gonna say very well engineered, very well mixed. Well, except for that kick. Kick can punch through a little more. Very, very similar to that a couple other tracks ago. Definitely kick could punch through more. I would like to heard more. Down the deep end. Knock out your teeth now, ain't that a feeling? Call up Jordan. So again, I'm the wrong person to say anything about it. I don't mind the vocals. I think it's good, but this kind of falls underneath to the same thing as Gucci Gang, and I hate that song for burning passion. So I'm not saying I hate the track. I think the beat is great. I don't like the lyrics, but that's because again, that's a personal thing. Oh no, I can understand your lyrics perfectly well. It's just brainless. I think to give you an idea as to rap I like, I'm a very big lyrical rap guy. I like rap from the 90s and 2000s. I grew up on Eminem, Coolio, the BFG, who else? OG Snoop Dogg, Kanye back in the day. Honestly, yo, that'd be sick. I would actually like to hear. I think I don't mind it when it's also with lyrical, but I would incorporate some lyrical just because I feel like this genre of music and this kind of music will die out eventually. It's kind of like Future Bass. Future Bass was super huge, and same with Tropical House. Like they still have mainstream parts. Don't get me wrong, but it got so cookie cutter and the same. People got sick and tired of it, and the following is completely like just fell out. So if you want to add some more lyrical rap, I think that could definitely help you out. And light up the melody man. Melody man. Put him down, put him down. Cause like I could hear Melody Man, like maybe like Melody Man, like if you started like rapping on top of that, that'd be really, really cool. So I think definitely, but everything else sounds good. Right there, kick, step and punching out more. It sounds good. Watch your levels a little bit. They're a little hot on that kick, actually. You can hear a little bit of distortion, a little bit. That. I know that it's very popular to have hip hop beats be really banging, so it rattles in people's cars. But I'm also going to kindly point out there is a really good way of doing it and also distorting your kicks. People will also want to turn down your music, and that can sometimes distort out the vocals and make the vocals quieter, and then people are not going to want to listen to it in your car. And I personally like listening to hip-hop music in my car the most. But honestly, it's a really good song, very well produced, very well mixed. Besides, I think the kick could get punched out a little more in some areas and then drawn back a little bit in some areas. I think that's the only main thing I hear. Honestly, autotune is not annoying, which is awesome because that is always a big concern of mine, is making sure your autotune is well done. So props on you for doing the autotune. I think it's a really cool track. Yeah, and I would say the mix is very well. Again, it's a very simple track, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said before, simplicity equals complexity, and you can't have complexity without simplicity, and vice versa. So, in the end, the complex part is where the mixing and the producing is, and sometimes the simplest parts is just putting 3 instruments together. I think I like the melody to be a little louder, but again, this kind of style of hip hop, it doesn't really matter. It's mostly the vocals. You're just kind of vibing it. But honestly, a dope track. Very, very well done. I enjoyed that. All right, so up next, I'm doing the unreleased one. Phantom Lane. Oh, it's pop. We got some pop in here. Some good old pop. Dance. Okay. I'm going to start off with something very important. See how that thing right here, and I'm going to kind of show on my screen. See how that has that really big line? And this is why I love SoundCloud, because it shows you the actual wave formula of the entire track. That's really loud. You should not have a song starting off that loud. I would really bring down whatever your intro is, or not make it so abrupt or very like in your face. Here's the song. Like it draws people back, and sometimes people can get distracted by it, or it just might not sound good throughout the rest of the track, or people could be turned off immediately. Because to get someone hooked on a track, you got like 10 seconds. That's it to get someone's hooked on a track and to listen fully through. So I would be careful with your levels on the intro there. Another thing too is mix right off the bat. I'm hearing 5 seconds in, everything is kind of all over the place, very chaotic, very muddied. I would definitely try and work on your kick and your bass a little bit. Overall, I think your mix just needs a total rework. I'm not going to go in depth about it because honestly, there's a lot of things I can nitpick. We'd be here all day. I would really try and bring things back. It sounds like you kind of just slapped a limiter on a master track, kind of put it through. Also, that melody, it sounds like it's a little off tempo wise with the rest, which sounds weird. And I know that's a lot for the first 5 seconds of this song, but it's what I'm noticing right off the bat. So we're going to hear how the rest of the song goes. I might skip through a little bit. Okay, so that melody, that and then you got a kick going 1, a 2, and it's like you got an arpeggiator going. I hear that, the arpeggiator playing a sequence loop, and then you got that kick and that snare, and it sounds off. That's all I can say. Again, it could be the mix. That vocal is really hot in the mix. I know this is also unreleased, so vocals are good. And I can feel the vibe you're going for. I just feel overall the mix needs a lot of work. It's good, but minor changes. Yeah. Yeah. If anybody else has comments too, feel free. I hear the music. That beat, it's got me. That beat, it's got me. Falling for you. I'm never one to give in that easy feeling free. I think you've got something you can do to kind of help, not only with just a mix here, but gating your hi-hats and your snare with and along as with side chaining with your kick, have them punch through a little bit. It doesn't hurt. Yes, the vocalist is very good. I completely agree. That is really good vocals. I think overall it's a good sounding track. I just feel like some parts are very messy. Some cleanups. What you could do is just pocket things. And if people don't know when I say pocketing sounds or creating pockets of space, it's when you EQ a track. So you use an equalizer. This could be done on the master, on the final stuff when you master a track, but when you're equalizing a track, it can really help to make space for certain things. So there's a space for the kick, there's space for the bass. So here's an example. Like, say, for example, I want my bass between 8 hertz and 80 hertz. Then I want my kick between 90 hertz and 120 hertz, so on and so forth. So you got those mid and low ends of the kick while keeping the main frame of the bass. So you having it go steadily through. That's something that could definitely help you. Just want to say that. The best of me. I think another thing too is there's almost too many ideas going at once. I'm hearing multiple genres. I would try and stick to one or two ideas and go with it throughout the track. So, like, for example, here, I'm hearing very happy-go-lucky pop. I'm hearing darker, more of like that dubstep kind of vibe, which is also cool. Now I'm going into more future bass Euro trance. So it's very off, and there are a few songs that can get away with it really well, but for a 3-minute track, it's very, very hard. I can't remember the trap song, but there's a trap song that actually was done, and it has a really cool swingy glitch, almost like a glitch hop sound with it, and it can really good. Each instrument should have its own place in space and sound. Hey, Extreme! I did your track earlier. You were the second track I did. I did your song. Not the new one. The other one that you're working on. Yeah, you make a good point. Each instrument should definitely have its own place in space and sound. Like that's something that's very important. And if you want to learn more music, and if you want to learn anything more compositionally, musictheory.net for anybody who wants to learn is a very good website. If you want to learn more about hertz ranges, I'm pretty sure there are some online free resources. Maybe next time I do a live stream, I'll find some links for you guys. But definitely try and pocket things. Just so many ideas. So many ideas. Now it's like that big room. Yes, I will be posting this Extreme, so yes, you can watch it tomorrow. Again, so many ideas. I think I'm just going to leave off on this track because I kind of covered some of the main things, and I have a feeling I probably can guess where the rest of this is going. I would love to hear this again, though, once you fix some things up. So, one, the mix, pocket everything. Make sure there's a nice pocket for everything. The mix definitely could use some improvement. Second, stick to one idea because this is very confusing to me. There are so many ideas, and none of them are bad. And that's the one thing I want to point out, and I don't want anybody taking this very negatively, because this is a very good idea, but there's too many ideas. I'm hearing future bass. I'm hearing Eurotrance. I'm hearing pop, nowadays pop. I'm hearing dubstep. I'm hearing, like, grime. I'm hearing house. I'm hearing big room, and I'm like, that is too many genres forced together. And people who have tried doing that with genres, like fusing so many together, their songs don't come out well. They sound very unconstructed, disorganized, and they could sound very clean, but there's a reason why nobody really listens to them sometimes. But it's not saying it's a bad thing. It's just it goes into a realm where it's like maybe one or two ideas might be better to bring the whole track. So I think it's a cool idea. I would go back, rework some of that stuff. Awesome artwork, by the way. It looks really good. So thank you for sharing that, Phantom. I do want to hear your more released tracks to see what it sounds like. So this is Phantom Lane. I know I'm skipping through here. See, that has one idea. I can hear it very clearly. It's got more of a trance 80s kind of vaporwave kind of vibe. It's cool, but it has one idea. Like I was skipping through your track there, the unreleased one, and when I can just skip through each different parts and just at random spots, and it's like almost a whole new song. That's usually when you got like a problem with having more than one idea. So I would definitely go back to the other one because this actually sounds really good. Although I think the mix could have been a little better, but that's something that comes with practice and work on. So Paradox, coming back to you, and because this guy sent me something, I will happily take a listen because I don't know who this is because we do advertise on Submit Hub as a electronic label and station, so. Except for when I do feedback and it doesn't look like a feedback thing. It just looks like somebody randomly messaging. Just an FYI, please do not just randomly message people. That's not how you get listeners. It's the opposite. So some marketing feedback and advice for everybody here. If you want to market to record labels, music, to like bloggers or anybody, research who you're sending it to, plan it out, properly send it out. Because nothing's worse than and I can't even tell you how many rappers and hip hop artists have sent me music, and I just straight up say no, and they get in a fight with me, and they're like, "Oh, why? Because my music sounds good." I'm like, "Because it doesn't fit our station. Did you at all like listen to what we released? Did you at all listen to our stations? Did you listen to anything we do?" And usually they can't even answer me that because they didn't. So it's very helpful to always research, because even though we're called Devil Den, which I guess could sound like a hip hop label, we're not. We're an electronic based label. So go figure that one. I don't know, Paradox, you still here? I wish that... Very different than your previous track, and I'm liking this. I like that alternative vibe. Oh, I love alternative. But that guitar, I want to hear that shred in the beginning. I want to hear that more. Also, that snare can slap a little more. So my only thing is that snare. If you're gonna have that snare that loud with the fill, make it at the same level as to your real snare, because it sounds like you have a drum set on top of a drum machine, and that's a little distracting. Because I was really vibing with that, and that snare is very loud in comparison though to your other snare, which is really quiet. So that's a very distinct thing in the mix. So I would have brought your snare up a little more, the other one, or this one down. Especially when I can't hear that fill. That was a nice tom fill, and I'm sad I can't hear that. Careful too, because it does sound like a live recorded kick. I'm assuming you have a inner and outer kick mic going. If you are recording it live, be very careful when you're quantizing it, because it sounds like your kick is a little off, because you're hearing ba-dum, ba-dum. You should be hearing bump, bump. You're hearing ba-dum. And that usually happens. I only know that with working with Pro Tools. That happens usually when your kick is just a little off, even a millisecond. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I just had somebody blast music. I love it though. It has a cool vibe. Yeah, it sounds like your kick is flaming. That's what it is. It sounds like it's flaming. Every conversation we have is something new. I don't want to waste a second when it's with you, when it's with you, when it's with you. Every time I see I don't want to waste a second when I'm with you. Every conversation we have is something. Okay. I think it's a cool song. In the future, I would just clean up your kicks, make sure they're quantized properly, and everything. So I kind of want to save a little time at the end here too. I wanted to officially announce and show you guys the actual Odyssey Club. So this is a project I've been working on with Wolf Network. This is a Minecraft nightclub. We'll be actually having live music. We will be accepting DJs, rap, all sorts of people. I don't know if we're going to have rappers yet. I haven't really figured that out. We'll see. Maybe even live bands, but they all have to be pre-recorded. That's the main thing. In the future, we hope to do live recording some point, but we'll see. Hi, Trippy J. Welcome to the server. So I thought I would give you guys... Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Extreme, you were just asking something weird was going on with the drums. Are you hearing it as well, or are you asking me is there something weird? Because if you hear... You can't hear it now. See, the kick sounds fine here. If you hear right there that kick, it sounds like it's flamming. So when you film it goes brum, that's what a flame would sound like. Brum. It's fast. So if you're a drummer, you probably will notice it. But it sounds like the kick's flamming, but it just sounds like, and it's got this fat, like, it almost sounds like a sound instead of a boom, boom, like a hard thumping sound, or even like even a regular kick drum. It sounds like a flam, and it sounds weird. And it sounds like a pop, which is why I could tell that something was weird with that kick, because it's gotten that pop sound. And typically when a kick flams, especially with audio, it's going to pop a little. So your high end of the kick, which should be in time with the low end, is going to stand out more versus your low end. So when you hear a kick drum, and that's why if you ever put it in through you can hear it. I have programmed tons of drums in my life, and it sounds like 2 lines of kick are lined. Yes, in time. Which is honestly, again, that's just something that comes with practice. So no worries about that. That took me a while to figure out how to do that. Trust me. Although I had to learn quick for my final. So if I do, well, I'll show you guys how to get here. There is on our Discord a link to get here. So you go through this portal creative, and we'll go from spawn so I can show you guys. But as you can see here, this is somebody's house on the side there. But if you go right here, welcome to the Odyssey. This is the club we're building. It's going to be a live venue. We'll have music playing. It's going to be pretty awesome. You can actually connect to the audio outside here. So all the speakers are programmed by me. And the way I have them programmed is in certain... crap, I just broke one. I will have to look afterwards. 14, okay. I'll have to fix that later. So you can actually do /audio. It's going to bring you up a prompt screen like this. You want to connect? Yes, I do. You hit yes. Click anywhere to connect. Hey there, Todoko. Keep this tab open in the background music. And you guys are going to hear in 2 seconds why this is so good. Usually give it a minute. And you can hear. And see, the volume changes. The closer you are to the speaker, the louder it is. So this is volume 4. Hey, Kaiser's on. This is episode 4 of the desk that's playing out here. But if you walk into one of the other rooms, the music's gonna stop playing and it'll transition to other music. So in here, this is the brand new stage, the Roman Garden. It's all psytrance. Apologies. Apparently, I didn't delete all the speakers last time. There we go. So... So yeah, there you go. You can actually hear all the music and stuff. And this is the Roman Garden stage, our trance stage. And if you go to the back here, music's gonna quiet down, like in real life. And if you leave, you go to the front, it'll start playing the desk again. So I just wanted to show you guys that, so you guys can see where we're at with that. But that is our upcoming club, and I'm really excited. Also, if you guys want to take a listen, Sethadelic's track "Archaic Technologies." This is his first release with us at Devil Den Records. Feel free to check it out on SoundCloud. It's out right now today. Honestly, a really good song. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope this feedback helped. And if you weren't able to make it today, don't worry. I will be doing this again, I promise. And this is also going to be hopefully a recurring thing. If you want to go back and just view some of the feedback again, I will be posting this after.